Hello and welcome to another coaching video, and in this one we have a Silver Nocturne versus a Silver Shaco, and we are doing a late invade. I don't know why in this ELO, in this low MMR range, we always see players go for these late invades, these cheese maneuvers. I mean, obviously we have the Shaco here doing the trickery and the Yuumi and the Nyla, but ultimately what are you hoping to accomplish as the Nocturne here? As a Shaco, we know what he wants to accomplish, but as you know, a Shaco most likely is going to want to do this, well, you know, it is silver, so optimize your clears and practice tool, please. Make sure you're getting it good and smooth and fast. We know he's going to want to do this and gank this, right, as the Nocturne. So, from your perspective, the fact that this has now happened to both of them, it shows you the big problem, right? Look at bot lane now, overdiving, 1 HP. You know, this just shouldn't happen. These clear technique speed issues just shouldn't happen. And the bot lane is RNG1 without the Shaco even having to show up. As a Nocturne, what is your goal here in this particular game plan? Tell me, what is your goal as Nocturne in this game? Probably to optimize level 6, to see that the Shaco's gonna do some sort of cheese and make sure we can get ahead of it. If he ganks bottom lane or mid lane, we are ready to react as necessary. But we farm faster. We have a more powerful ultimate. We can split push better. And so for Split 2 of Season 13, I'm launching an easy way to have all the courses to address the issues you're having in your current MMR, to make improving as a jungler even faster than it's ever been, and to give more value and information than I've ever done in one simple place. Your new place for jungle growth and jungle diffing. And then give you a whole bunch of other stuff like free jungle cheat sheets, a custom-made video just for the Jungle Club every single week, open Q&As every single week, patch rundowns, free coaching twice a week for anyone who wants to join the room. I've been the go-to jungle YouTuber since 2017. I've coached thousands of clients. I'm a qualified teacher with 15 years experience. I know how to make a course, and I know how to make junglers convert from low elo to gold to emerald to diamond to master plus. If you want to climb faster than anybody you know, jungle diff every game you play, head to virkayu.gg, click on jungle course memberships and sign up to reach your true potential. We have a game-changing ultimate late game when it comes to macro. We can always shove and ult up or shove and ult down. We have these options available to us. By spending the time doing blue grump, resetting with bad kiting, and going to the red, it's 254. The Shaco is on his wolves finishing those up at the same time frame. What he's gonna notice is, hey, look, my shit's gone. Oh no, I guess I'll gank mid lane. Oh no, I guess I'll gank top lane. You're giving him an opportunity to think. Whereas in low elo, you don't want to do that. You want them to stick in their box, full clear and blindly do whatever it is that they do, and hope that as Set actually kills the Darius, they can play their game plan worse than you can play yours. And that's essentially what we're looking to do. Now look, the Shaco's going to realize all of this is gone. You've got a low HP Set. Most likely the Shaco should be moving up in this direction to kill the Set. Oh no. Oh dear. My friend, you're missing gross opportunities to get fed. Oh dear me. Anyway, so the Nocturne's now taking stuff. Oh, he's going to go mid lane. Here we go. Let's see if a kill or something is burned. Definitely a flash, I would think. Do we have enough? Do we have enough? No. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so couple things to unpack. But then Virkayu, if the cheese worked and he has no idea what to do, that's good right now. It's results based, right? We can all agree that the Set should have died. We can all agree, if he didn't, that Ari should have died. We can all agree that then we know the Nocturne is going down to the bottom side, which allows the Shaco the ability to back early and match you should this be somewhere you want to go. Counter gank you bottom lane, Nyla gets snowballed. What you've done is effectively, yes, you've removed the Shaco's ability to do what he needs to do, but you've also removed yourself from your total win con, which is a first 6, a nice level 4, Skeletal Crab control, an early gank pre-6, resequencing beautifully. Let's see if it actually works out in our favor anyway. Event Horizon does hit, Shaco goes to the other side, chucks a backstab down, it's not quite enough. He didn't ignite, he should have ignited, and that should have been a kill. Now the Nocturne in the meantime is saying, well, I got your blue and grump, who cares? Right? Who absolutely cares when Nyla is straight up winning this with the Yuumi? Look at this. Now you look at this, and you go into Discords and you say, look at my bot lane. Look at them. None cannot carry them. No. It's 4:12 on the clock. You know Shaco started on the bottom side. You could have been in this area to help this wave before 4:12. You could have done something, but you spent the time doing blue and grub, and the Shaco should have gotten this kill anyway. And I'm willing to bet 8 out of 10 times he does. So don't look at this game and go, well, you see, look, it worked. It didn't. What you effectively did is say, hey Shaco, you know what's fun? Why don't both of us like have no impact? You know what I mean? Like, why don't we just watch the laners and see how it goes? Now the Shaco will have a smite up soon. We obviously don't have ours either. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nyla has prior, so we're going to want to not lose the ability to smite that, which we did. Now we're coin flipping this. Shaco's coin flipping this. Again, if you're Shaco here, there's no reason for you to be here. This is silly. It's a waste of time. You're seeing all of this, right? This is like a great deconstruction of what makes silver players silver. And none of it's to do with your mechanics. All of it's to do with your very basic decision making and why you make decisions. Oh, the UVQ is waiting for it. Come on, Nocturne, you can live, my son. No, he cannot. No, he cannot. And now again, you ping bottom lane. You're like, bottom lane, you rotate. No. So let's use this very messy first rotation as literally the encyclopedia of low elo jungling. Yeah? Let's watch the Shaco go back to the mid lane here for no... That's not how you do it, but, you know, at least he's showing some sort of pressure. What you did as Nocturne is effectively say, let Odin take the wheel, right? I'm going to sacrifice some goats, and hopefully that allows my bot lane to win, which it didn't. I'm going to try and take the Shaco out of the game, but in doing so, you force the Shaco's hand into more action because he's got nothing else to do. You also decided to fight this with the Shaco way too long, alright? And now the bot lane, oh, we get the shutdown there from Israel, and now the bot lane is just a straight up 2v2 war zone. Okay, oh, come on, man. Straight up war zone. And no jungler is having any sort of impact. Right, let's pause. Here, you shove off the Shaco, good job, man. But don't let the crab reset its HP. Get it to 600 and bounce and get out. Why? Because you know Nyla's there, you know that Yumi's there, you know that just leave. Take the crab and leave. Decent job. You can always reset now, sequence all the way down, hopefully get an early level 6 with something in the way, and then ult the bottom lane. Impacted, right? Instead, though, we let it reset, we greed for it, we dive forward, we give the Shaco a kill, we take his camps, he should have gotten 2 kills forward. It's better just to do your game plan here, rather than cheese, okay? Because as I coach and all my content, when someone cheeses you like this, and you come here and there's no blue and there's no grump, and I've literally had coaching sessions where a Hecarim would do this exact play against us. Like a Hecarim late invaded a blue and a grump, went to the side, and the jungler I was live coaching was like, oh, there's nothing here. So I said, okay, what do you do? And they were like, well, I go back to base. I'm like, why? Well, what could the Hecarim do next? Well, the Hecarim could go back to his camp sequence down. The Hecarim could gank mid lane and go defend the side, which gives you this. But mostly what you're learning is that the Hecarim is now trying to control his own jungle, whereas you're free. You're not constrained by first clear camps. You are actually forced to look upward and say, huh. Like you have options. And in low elo, sometimes what you've done is when you do this, is you redirect their eyes to actually good thinking, right? Which most of the time, the junglers don't have. So overall, and now you can see this again, we died, we've gone to the Raptors, we cut across the mid lane, we know his flash is now burned, but we're level 4. The Shaco knows that we're here, so we're just going to sit in the bush even though he knows that we're here. Yeah, okay, not much to say there. I mean, Set is winning. Shaco could have impacted this, didn't. We could have impacted this as Nocturne as well, just as a drive-by. We are just not having impact. You're seen, by the way, and now we're drawing Shaco to us all the time. Like, both junglers are being as equally useless as each other, but then Shaco is actually responding to what the Nocturne is doing, and it's getting him fed, all the while bottom lane is 7-2-2. And you can look at this and say, like, well, bot RNG, right, because they won the first 2v2. Yeah, but if I'm full sequencing down, and this first 2v2 goes down, and they get back into the lane by the time I finish my first clear, I'm ganking it, right? I'm ganking this Nyla Yumi lane because I know the Shaco started here. I know he's going topside. I know he's going to be busy with blue and grump because he's not thinking about impact in the way that the higher elo junglers do. You offset it, right? You shove it. You back to base it. You full sequence again. You gank it again. You take the dragon. You reset it. You take the herald. You invade. You dive. You go back to base. You go bot lane. You ult and you use it. All of a sudden, instead of Nyla being 7-2-2, right? Your Ezreal's 7-2-2. You can impact the inting bottom lane. So when you see inting bottom lanes like this in low elo, and you think, well, look, Virkayu something I could do, like, big skill issue. Yes, you're the skill issue. And now I'm not saying that every single lane that ints and feeds is because of you, but I think it's a healthy approach to look at what you could have done to impact that lane. Now, will all those decisions necessarily be the best ones? No, right? No, not at all. But at the very least, you can't have situations like this where Set's winning, Ari's losing, bot lane is hard losing, and you're 0-1-0 and saying it's someone else's fault. You're level 5, pulling out a dragon, when they have prio, they saw you go up, and again, the Shaco, bless his soul, not doing anything amazing, but he is rotating to events, right? Which is great. Like sometimes in low elo, all they have to do is rotate to events. Now we fed 2 kills unnecessarily. Now we're going to give them a fire dragon unnecessarily. So hopefully you can see the deconstruction of this early game and why low elo junglers lack impact, why they have low KP, low CSPM. Now you're just going straight out of base to this Herald side because Shaco should be on the bottom side. You may even get this, right? But we're not even yet level 6. Why would you necessarily go for these things when you're not level 6? Miss a Q. Haymaker doesn't hit. We're level 5. We're going to go in for this. Okay, we're going to use this. We burn the flash, but again, you can't bank on that. I'm going to gank this lane. The guy's 100% going to go back in and burn his flash. No, it's not. It's not you. You don't make strategy plays based on that. Get your 6, man. Then look to cut in here. Then look to do something here. Look to do something here. Take this if possible if the Shaco shows up here again. You can still recover, right? The Shaco, in the meantime, is down here doing his red. You could take this. You could have taken this. You didn't need to gank top lane. You could have actually just gone straight forward, right? Just a complete failure across the board in terms of decision making. Trying to be cheeky with the cheese invades, which is why I hate them, because there is always a counter. Good fundamentals will defeat a cheese strategy. Always. Always. Sometimes you will win games with certain cheese strategies if you can keep the pressure up, but it's very rare. Very, very rare that junglers in general, unless you're like a challenger GM, master player, that you can keep up that cheese strategy. So when someone coaches you to do this, great. But what I'm coaching my players is how to counter it without stressing whatsoever, and recognizing that it's a W for you. Because what it does is it compromises their next moves. They're going to spend their time incorrectly, and you will just get their lanes ahead and eventually be ahead of them, which is exactly what's happened here. Even if it wasn't perfect, it is what's happened. Shaco again. Look, he's just ganking. This is what I kind of wanted from the Diamond Shaco yesterday. He was farming way too much. There we go. No, he was farming too much. I kind of like this. Like, you know, no real reason to go to Herald's side because there's no Herald. My camps are going to be there, not stolen. You know, why don't I maybe do something about it? There you go, Nocturne. See, there we go. Low HP guy pushing. Altars up. Good. Good. Very good. Now, what do you do about that? That's a big issue. Now, we actually do see the Nocturne go this direction if you're the blue team, so that's something to pay attention to. You know, when you're posting those screenshots on X or on Discord and so on, you kind of look at this and you go, oh, look, there's nothing I could do in my bot lane fed. But then I break it down here, I'm like, there's lots of things you could have done. Yeah, your bot lane is outmatched, but at the same time, it's a lot of stat checking. They have more stats than they do, and that's it. What if they had more stats than they did? Well, then they would win. And also, you'd be fed too, because it's a double kill each time, and Yumi's useless. So, what happens now is we're doing this, we see them detach upward. My question is, are they invading us into the jungle? The plant hits, which means you know they're coming up to you, which means what do you do immediately? Immediately as soon as this happens, right? You leave. You leave. You walk around the long side, you walk back, you do not go into this brush, but something tells me he's not registering the fact that he was hit with vision, so once more he's dying. It's a third death for the Nocturne at the hands of the bottom lane. So, you know, if they have 6 instead of 9, that's better, right? Again, there we go, Ezreal. Come on, baby. Yumi. Still very irritating, but it's fine. Look at him go! Look at him go! He wants to save the other tiny person. Ari's like not even aware of this whatsoever. They're over chasing. She joins into the Veigar. He walks into the stun and also dies. Yeah, you gotta learn when to pull the plug, guys. General awareness, man. Like, general awareness. When you're driving, okay? You're always looking in the mirrors. Same thing here. Same thing here. Yeah, this is not so good. So, huge gold lead. But as I put in the Jungle Detail, the weekly video I make for the private Discord, I had a 9k gold deficit of 14 minutes, and we came back from that very easily. And that was more like your gold platinum game. It was one of those fun games. Not a try-hard game, obviously, because usually in Master Plus, if you're down 10k gold at 14 minutes, it's very tough to win, except those extreme cases. But in this ELO, it isn't that difficult to win because no one has that pressure sense that I was talking about. There's always a way back in, and where does it start? Control your jungle, sequence well, use your ult powerfully, abuse people who don't base enough, and first and foremost, pay attention to your surroundings, okay? Really, Raza Ghul that shit, because half the time, all of these deaths can be avoided with a very straight up, very simple, hey, I get hit by Vision Plant, I'm probably not going to walk into the 9-kill Nyla. Again, ult is used. I put this in, where did I put this? I wrote this somewhere. Main channel video, yesterday. In the text box. We're covering level 6 spiking junglers. I mentioned something about using your ultimate, like Kayn and Hecarim and Karthus and Fiddle. Nocturne as well. And I said, most people just underuse their ultimates so much. And basically an unused ult is about as useful as a third armpit. It's true, because it's pretty useless. And if you do have a third armpit, I apologize. I'm not trying to disparage your otherwise armpitedness. But in this particular case, you know, you've used it twice. It's largely useless, right? 12 minutes. That shit should be full sequencing, 6 bottom lane, cool into stuff, use it again. You know, like, you should be using that thing on cooldown because you're like, okay, I got 60 seconds. What does the map say I can do with that 60 seconds so that when my ult is primed, I'm using it? Because that's your power button, right? That's your power ball, power button, lottery winner thing that you've got to use. And if you're not using it, really think about that, all right? Think about it deeply. I guarantee you, if you go watch your games, as any jungler, right? Not just a farming jungler, as any jungler, how often do you use your ult compared to, say, a challenger career player? Any challenger player, grandmaster, master player, even a diamond player. People like to make fun of them, but then you compare it and it's like they're way better than low elo, you know? And a lot of it's just using the stuff that you have available to you, decision-making and ability-wise. Obviously, we learned to give this one up here. We did drop the Herald here for some cash money gold, but you know what, 5k gold at 14 minutes almost. The Shaco's down on gold, you know? He's down on gold because of the plates, and he is 303, he's doing his job, but facing this Shaco is very much what I would expect, is very much what I would expect from this elo range. Like, this is the kind of Shaco you expect to face, and no one is thinking, hey, this guy's destroying me, what a disgusting champion. They're thinking, this is quite beatable, actually. Oh, we're using our ult again. Yes. See? I'm having a fat chat to you. This guy's like, wait a second, he's low HP, let me go. Which is more than what the Shaco was doing. Shaco wasn't doing that earlier. Huge now. Huge. When you open your eyes, you pay attention to your surroundings, you use your ult of cooldown, and you just play the game strategically sound with solid fundamentals. And at the end of the day, I really do like what the Shaco's doing as a base form of jungling. The motherfucker's ganking. He's just ganking stuff, and he's not farming too much, and he's still only 4 CS down on the Nocturne. That's insane, because the Nocturne's died 3 times. What have 3 deaths done to the Nocturne's ability to gain his econ? A lot, because this guy hasn't died, has spam ganked a lot, and is basically got the same CS. Huge. Bounty secured there. We do have the Herald up. Obviously, this is the thing we should be taking right now. We saw the Shaco go to the bottom side, being mid lane is no point. If you have this right here, right, go ahead and, honestly, no joke, in games with huge deficits, if you can track enemy junglers down this side, and you know this just spawned with a bounty, and you're, go, right? Like, the vision doesn't matter. Look at the vision. Doesn't matter. Just scan the pit as you're in, make sure there's no bad wards, snack that sucker, and off you go. As soon as you do that, you're going to start to see the reeling in of that gold lead. But instead, we get seen. We're going to go for the fear now. Nyla's super duper giga strong. We're in a 3v2 here, 4v2 because we know Shaco's on the bottom side. Again, how do we know that? Because we saw mid lane go down. Our bottom lane are here. It looks like bot gap. It really looks like bot gap. But can we agree that it isn't? And can we agree that even if it was, could we not have done more for top lane? Now, top lane's really far ahead. But if we could have done more for him sooner, say 4 minutes sooner, busting this open, then you and the Set Cocoon squad mid and bot lane really start to open up the map together. And most sets and top laners will listen to you if you ping it and you help them a lot early because they realize how strong they are. Look at them go. Well, that was anticlimactic. We just don't have impact. And it's all because we cheese strategied. We weren't in a position. I have a coaching session right after I'm finishing recording this with a Fiddlesticks who was gold in the first time I met him. And his clear was so slow the first time, he missed the rotation bot by 20 seconds. We focused on some strategies and game planning, and he made the right game planning decision in the next coaching session. And he shaved 20 seconds off that game plan, and he arrived bottom lane and got a double kill. Very similar situation. Same thing with a Nocturne here, guys. Same kind of concept. Optimize your clear, optimize your game plan. Don't overthink it. Don't try to be too smart. Play with your eyes up. Recognize the opportunities you have available to you. Don't coin flip catch up heralds, which you should have taken anyway. You know, the Shaco dying there, honestly, like, I'm okay with that. If I'm the Shaco, I'm fine with that. I'm not the 1v9 guy this game. That's the Nyla. I just need to destroy their ability to macro us so we can focus on this, which is what we're doing. And it looks like a very, very rough game for Nocturne's crowd. No real farming cohesion, no real ganking strategies. It's just a whole lot of existing like a soup, like a waffle, all around the map. Not at all thinking 2 steps ahead. Not even thinking in the moment sometimes. Just base form existing. And I think once as a jungler you start to get to grips with that concept, everything I've said here, you will notice a lot more stuff goes your way. And a lot more times the bottom lane will be fed. For you, not for them. But yeah, that's essentially why I wanted to cover this one, because it looks like shit. Ari 070. Ezreal's 282. Renata is 19-3. Damn, bro. Inkting lanes. Sucks, man. You'll get him next game. No. Not if you jungle like this. Now, the Ari is the way she is because Shaco was spam ganking her. The Shaco started spam ganking her because he realized he could, because he didn't have a blue and a grump to take in the first place. So you gave him proactive thinking. Not to say it's a terrible play, but I don't like it when you take something from them and then go AFK farming, right? Which is what the Nocturne did. Because of it, we were late to bot lane, so both mid and bot got ahead indirectly as we watch Nyla clean up and die because of the Nocturne's decisions, right? And the Ari tried her best, but I mean, the Shaco did do a lot of good ganking. That's why I said I'm happy with what the Shaco's doing. He picked a lane, snowballed it, he knew bot lane was good, so he didn't touch it, and top lane he figured, hey, this is irrelevant. Because Nocturne isn't doing anything about top lane, Nocturne isn't doing anything about mid lane, and Nocturne isn't doing anything about bot lane. So when you lose games quickly, don't lazy base. Always. Footsec. Walk all the way or go somewhere super far, okay? Don't lazy base, ever. So when you look at games like this in low elo, and we always talk about this, don't worry guys, it's always winnable. It is, you know, I covered that in that jungle detail video. I mean, it is winnable, without a doubt. But you have to control your jungle, you have to be equally as strong as the enemy jungler, you still have to have some objectives, you have to understand some sort of macro concept. It's really the junglers in silver who are learning and priming themselves for gold. Those are the ones that will have the best success kind of coming back in these games, right? Because even so, you look at this, they overstay 3 of them are dead. Like, they overstay 3 of them are dead. Now you're like, well, maybe we can go do a Baron. I like the idea of doing a Baron here, but the problem is, as Nyla is out of position and dies, the problem is, I was going to say, what if they show up and we have to turn? But Nyla solves that problem. Shaco's alive. Okay, Shaco is combo smite. We know he's going to try and come steal. You know, this is the right call, but you have to be able to smite it. You have to be able to smite it. Now, you all want to flame the Nocturne. I know it. I know it. But look at this, right? And you don't want to coin flip the Baron at all, but at the same time, look, you're expecting the Shaco to go over the wall here with Q, right? He's going to have the damage combo with his smite, but at the same time, watch this. Both our smites do 1200. So ultimately, all the Nocturne has to do here is hit his Q plus smite this. Now, if you don't think you can do that over the enemy jungler, if you don't think you can outsmite them, then pull off, scan. We don't even have a scanner. Pull off and scan and actually go ahead and kill him first. But as it plays out, watch the HP. 1146. We could easily smite. Both junglers could easily smite. And then you look at it, but then you look at Nocturne here, and you're like, well, why doesn't he smite it at 1200? Well, my friends, he doesn't have Unleashed. His smite only does 900. Shaco's does 1200. This is like the biggest thing. You see he's got 7 things on his pet at the bottom there. This is the biggest thing. You can't go ahead and do this and coin flip this if you either don't out-combo smite them, you don't even have more smite damage than them, you have to scan, turn, and kill them first, otherwise, boom, doomed. And that's exactly what happens. He didn't even have to combo smite Shaco, he just had to press a button. And honestly, good job to him. No one recognized this guy wasn't finished, and such is the way of the world, because he doesn't have the full upgrade. Now everyone else can start to rotate over. We don't have Baron recall. Stop the ports. This is going to shove in here and get this inhib. That's one of those situations where it just absolutely doesn't feel good. Guys, you're losing an inhib for this. Maybe. Maybe. We do kill the Darius. Okay, we're fine. Maybe. And it's gonna go down. No one's, like, you can't afford to lose an inhib here. Now we've lost the inhib. Unfortunately, we lost the Baron because of the lack of awareness on the smite damage and the combo damage and everything like that. And what it looks like is going to happen is we'll just farm it up a little bit. And the rest of the team from the blue side will just group up and most likely end. So a really great example of how it can feel like, look, I'm 8-5-4, I've done a good job. All my lanes entered, nothing I could do. But we know that that isn't true, right? And I think you have to be very honest with yourself. And, you know, the jungle courses and the membership and the Discord are all designed to help each other recognize these moments. Like, look, it feels like I could do nothing. Is there something I could have done? And that's what we want, right? We want people to learn from these games. Like the Nocturne can say, look, maybe I still don't win, right? Maybe it's just truly an inti game, which is possible, right? Mid and bot just feed so much, it's just possible you never win. Truth. But could I have at least done the utmost to prevent them getting fed in the first place? There's a possibility you gank your bot lane 12 times and the Nidal still wins and gets fed 8. That's an inting lane. Like, I can do nothing about that. But in this case, we didn't do anything for anybody in any real way, and you're seeing the results. And the Shaco, while it wasn't an exemplary game, spam ganked and got mid lane fed, so now 2 out of 3 lanes are winning for him. Good job, guy. Hopefully you enjoyed and learned something. Definitely a tough one for low elo junglers, but hopefully the message is lighthearted and positive for what you can look to improve. Hopefully, see you all in the next video or in the private Discord.